In the previous session, the party was faced with amalgamated monsters created by wild magic. While most of the guests escaped safely, a few became entangled in the combat. Augustus Pompeius, the brother of Octavius, was bitten by the fearsome dire wolf. Senator Dominicus Faust acted as a battlefield medic. Antilles Acivinum took up arms against the beasts, not to be bested by his old rival, Gaius. Bruno Carboni took a blow to the head, dropping a concealed weapon. Finally, Albatius Damasus used magic to teleport from the fight, an act seen only by Miss Avalon Valerius. The sorcerers were able to drive away most of the monstrosities, though the Gralon and the direwolf both fell by their spellcraft. In a moment of surging power, Marcus was able to glimpse the form of a spectral dragon as the skeletons of dinosaurs began to rattle and shake. What new entity is forming within the walls of Imperius? Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sorcerous Origins, your dog's favorite actual play Dungeons & Dragons series. I am your Coliseum master, Will Peña. I am here with Sarah Sherwood,
Clio Meliora,
Riley Civerolo Douglas,
Marcus Prosperous,
Maya de la Torre,
Avalon Valerius,
Sydney Steinberg,
Aemil, Celeris,
and Clayton Currie.
Hi, I'm Gaius Maximus.
Great. So we come back to the scene. You guys are in this amazing kind of Greek-Roman temple almost. It's been converted to like a ballroom space that has also been converted into like a zoo, a menagerie.
rich people.
But it is completely wrecked at this point from the aftermath of your battle. Got some party lights with Gaius. You had just finished with the battle. The Gralon and the direwolf lie dead on the floor when suddenly the bones on the wall start shaking and moving. And the ground underneath you also begins to vibrate. As you can start seeing little chips of marble and paint coming down from the ceiling. More glass from that broken center skylight starts to fall down. What do you guys do?
I feel like we should get out of here.
Out. We have to get out now.
Do I still see the dragon?
No, you've lost your true sight.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck.
Which is
out
the
of here.
nearest?
Okay, let's quick inventory. We have Dominicus is with us, right?
Yeah.
Antilles is still with us,
Yes.
and awake and capable.
Yes, those two are awake.
Bruno,
Augustus is.
and
Bruno's
Bruno.
unconscious.
Bruno's unconscious.
And so is Augustus.
Augustus is unconscious.
Yes.
All right, I guess we start dragging, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to start dragging
Hold on,
Augustus.
hold on. I might have something.
More pieces of plaster begin to fall.
Stop thinking.
Yeah, let's just drag people.
Who's dragging
Okay.
people?
Yeah. As you guys go, say who's dragging who.
I don't think I can do this by myself, but I'll try and drag Bruno.
I'll help you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna drag Augustus.
Okay.
Okay. As everyone grabs someone, I'm going to disperse Flame Blade and just adjust myself so I'm facing like the main entryway, and clap my hands together and just send a gust of wind. And I'm going to cast Gust of Wind down the center of the hall in hopes it has rules for going against the wind, but I'm hoping as they enter it, they can sort of willingly fail and
Totally, yeah.
go through the slipstream.
So Gaius wheels himself towards the door and creates this cyclone of air forward towards the door, making it much easier for you guys to all bring these people and their unconscious bodies in. I was going to make you roll athletic checks, but for the distance you have to cover now, you're all good. So everyone is whisked out the door, I assume followed by Gaius, as the bones... everyone make perception checks. Avalon, you can make with advantage.
That's natural 20.
Whoa!
Nice.
Would I
Got a
also have
10.
advantage from knowing that there's something up there, or?
No.
Okay, that's
That's not
fine.
what the perception check's for.
I don't need it.
21.
8.
21.
Hey.
Aemil?
Oh, 10.
Okay, so Clio, Marcus, and Avalon. As you guys are being whisked away out of the building, the first thing that the three of you notice is that the bones are not just shaking because the ground is shaking. You see some of them come up and off and like snap off of the wiring that they were hanging from. I guess ropes, it's old timey. And begin to float and coalesce towards the center. The other thing that all three of you notice is a distinct smell in the air. There's a brief flash of maybe like ozone from Gaius's magic, but there's something else metallic happening. In fact, you can recognize it as like the smell of like jewelry and precious metals. As you guys are whisked out. Everyone who is at the party is also outside. It is completely nighttime at this point. They are kind of like the monsters that escaped are currently like running down different alleyways. Those that can fly are already
I
well
say
into
good
the
for
sky
them.
at this point. Whereas the people are kind of maybe stunned. I don't know exactly. Like they just wanted to see who would get out. And so they're kind of waiting in a semicircle at the bottom of the steps. And as you guys get out, 4 of the pillars that were in front begin to crash. And something breaks from that skylight once again where the rock left. You guys hear an impossibly loud roar, and elemental magic seems to be erupting from the top of it. There's fire, there's ice, there's acid and poison, and the building begins to crumble down as you see this. Yes, Avalon?
Do I understand if they say anything in the roar?
Nothing's being said in the roar.
Ah.
The building begins to crumble down as this terrifying beast monster begins to climb its way out. It turns its head to the audience. I need everybody to make a wisdom saving throw. DC 26.
20.
What?
I'm not even going to try. Aemil fails.
Yeah, because you can't.
Saving
I don't think I
throw?
can
The
get
highest
it either.
I can roll is a 19.
If I rolled a nat 20, I couldn't
That's-
do it.
What
That's
check
the
is this
DC.
again? One more
Well,
time?
that's a 9. That's a nat 20 though. I got a 10.
Box.
Oh, wisdom save.
17.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna tell you.
Ooh, just for
You
fun, I
know,
got a
I'm
19.
not gonna give you the satisfaction of telling you.
Will
what
said
it
we
is.
are having a thematic moment.
Give me one moment. while I-
Leo, did you pass?
15.
This monstrous conglomeration of all of the dragon bones makes its way as its fist
Dragon
steps
bone?
onto the top of the ceiling, crushing it under. Another one. You see the like ridges of the stegosaurus along its back. This huge ankylosaurus tail whipping behind it. The claws on each hand that are like crushing the marble underneath it are the curved, hooked velociraptor claws. And spreading off of its back are pterodactyl wings. And finally, its face comes right next to everybody. You are all frightened under that because of that wisdom save.
Yep.
Um,
Makes sense. That's fair.
its head, which is covered in reptilian scales of all different colors. Some of them like a matte, like red or black or green. Others are like shining with gold and silver. The gold and silver ones kind of run like marbled veins across of it. And it moves its head through the crowd. You see its eye blink sideways in that unsettling way that like alligators do. And it comes face to face with Avalon. Its triceratops horns like jutting out up onto the like upwards into the sky. And it says in a deep, bestial, primal language that only Avalon can understand.
Terrifying.
You're one of mine, correct?
Yes.
Then there is something you must understand. You are a dragon, the ruler of all beasts. Stop cowering. And you feel the fear effect end.
I like this guy.
That's so fucking cool.
The world is yours to dominate. Take your place. And with that, it extends its wings up and lets out one huge flap that lifts it up into the air. And it turns into the sky. You can see its figure kind of across the moon. And as it leaves a 240-foot radius, the fear effect ends.
That's
I'm
so
not too
far.
sure about this guy anymore.
That's my dad.
That's my dad.
My dad.
You can see the fear effect also ends on everyone else in that audience. As people...
Everyone okay?
Yeah.
Mostly,
Fine.
what was that?
A dragon?
Felix comes up to you. Gaius, are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. Are you okay?
Yeah, I made it out there pretty soon after I saw everything happen.
I'm glad you're safe.
Not many people are hurt until they turn their eyes towards Augustus, who is still unconscious on the ground. No, never mind.
I thought that was Felix for a second. Just no.
No. A couple of the no, there was no soldiers around. You hear the sound of like city guard, like their boots clomping against the stone as they're like rushing in. And some of the senators are starting to like kind of clump up in groups. Dominicus kind of gives a once over to all of you and says, I have to go talk to Lucia. I will see you soon.
I'm assuming that's to Clio, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of
Cleo.
to everybody, to the whole group.
Oh,
Did I ever
yeah.
hear about the meeting?
No.
No.
You just kind of,
I'm just looking at this guy like,
I'm so sorry. I was looking at my spells. Who is this? This is.
Dominicus Faust.
Okay. Can I? Is he
Faust.
hurt?
No, actually, I don't think he took any
Okay.
damage that I remember.
'Cause I'm about ready to start firing off cure wounds at whoever needs it. So okay, if he's good, then yes, I will see you.
Okay. And he kind of walks off to some of the other senators. All the same people who were there last time are around. Bruno and Augustus on the floor, and Tilly seems to be kind of just staring in shock, and his brow is like deeply furrowed as he looks at the wreckage in front of him. What do you guys want to do?
I have a quick.
Is what I want to know. I'm Clio is going full like crisis mode. She is ready to just fire off. I've got hella spell points. Who needs?
Both Augustus and Bruno are stable but unconscious.
Yes. Is Marcus okay? Because I kept trying to get Marcus, and Marcus kept being healed by other folks, which is.
I'm at 26 out of 35. So, like, I got bitten and I'm bleeding, but, like.
All right, I'm going to handle the other dudes first, but I have said that to Marcus now on 3. This is the 3rd time I've said Marcus is hurt, but I am going to prioritize. I feel bad about. I don't think Clio has clocked that yet, but I, Sarah, feel bad.
As
So
you.
get Augustus up.
Sydney, you had a question.
Yeah, just a question about like the lore of the world. Like, are dragons part of mythology in period?
Not
like
in like your early pre damn, I always want to call it Invictus. It isn't Invictus anymore.
Imperium.
In like
Imperius.
early pre-Imperium days, there were myths of dragons.
okay,
And in I can make a history check for me actually.
all right. What is my bonus to history?
It's Greek mythology before Percy
Intelligence.
Jackson made it common knowledge again.
That's pretty good. 15.
15. and you're actually aware that Tailnar, the country that you guys are currently at war with, does currently have some like religious systems, or like those ancient like myths. Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say they already had dragons.
They have dragons?
They've had
What?
dragons
No
for
fair.
years.
I'd like to turn Clio, like, you hop off to go heal some folks, yeah? I turn to the rest of the group and go, what are we seeing that man at tomorrow?
Who was that?
Oh, perhaps we should speak about this at another point.
Yeah, there's a
Now's
meeting.
not the time. Now's
You say we should speak about this another time, and Marcus asks again, but you only hear it in your head because we got message.
Yeah.
No. What did we get signed up for?
is that
And
to
I
me
guess
or
I'm
to you?
I guess
Or
I'm
to-
going to Avalon since you said another time.
I also have message, so this works.
Look at us.
We have been invited by Lucia and perhaps Dominicus, he seemed to know what was going on, to a meeting among some senators who are against Albatius in this work.
So we're tools being traded from one hand to the other then.
If that is what you would believe.
I don't trust any of these people. But Albatius sucks. So okay.
Clio, who do you go over to first?
Augustus, that's 11.
Can I this is bad. Can I just loom over her shoulder as she's doing it?
Fine, I know. Yeah, Cleo just sort of like kneels down next to him wherever he is, and like clear, just sort of like over like where his heart like would be.
Okay. You can see there are tears in his cloak, and there are teeth, like deep teeth marks on either side of his chest. He was like kind of bitten over the shoulder, and it goes all the way around. Roll your healing.
Huh?
I'm just curious. How much do you heal him for?
11.
11. That's
Ooh.
well above and over.
His cold is gone too.
Oh my god.
You had a little bit of the sniffles?
Yeah.
Fixed.
Straight now. He like
you push your hands over him. You feel that like divine magic work its way from you into him, and those wounds mend. They kind of stitch themselves back together and close without even leaving scars. And he is thrust awake, and he suddenly grabs you by the shoulder as his eyes open, and you see them like dilate quickly. He goes, something else. There's no, I'm fine. I apologize.
right?
I'm fine.
Okay.
Fine. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. And he sits up. I didn't mean to scare you.
No, you're okay. Are you good? I was like already looking at Bruno. Like, are you set?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay, Avalon, are you okay?
Avalon, make a performance check.
This is fitting. 5.
You do a really
Good.
bad performance where you like turn back to the group and Marcus just goes,
Bruno, next.
Yes. It's a 6 for him.
6. Okay.
Fine.
he doesn't deserve more than that.
Bruno was clocked by that ground, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, he deserves.
You
Going
see his
somewhere
head
with a
move.
knife.
It was unnoticeable before you fixed it. His head kind of unconcaves.
Horrible. Appalling.
And his eyes kind of flutter open. I don't think I've done a voice for Bruno yet. I don't think we've talked to him.
I don't think so.
Hello.
You've made a cuckold of me.
Reviving me.
Thank you. That was unnerving. You are Clio. You're one of those magic users, aren't you? And he kind of gets up for a second and looks around him. That's really
I'm watching from afar-ish.
He does. He kind of looks and locks eyes with you for like a second before switching away. Thank you. I'm fine. I thank you for your services, but they will not be necessary from
Can
here
I offer
on.
you some advice?
If you must.
Leave Aemil alone. And I'll tell you why. You are alive because Aemil Celeris let you be alive. You could be dead on the floor in there, and it's because of Aemil that you're not. Aemil Celeris saved your life, and I want you to know that. Carry that knowledge with you, and make a very smart decision about what you are going to do with the life that Aemil has granted you. Okay?
I apologize. The name Aemil Celeris means nothing to me.
I think
Cleo.
that's not true. It's
Cleo.
fine.
Cleo, leave it be.
And brushes himself off and walks off to join some of the other merchants that were there at the party. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to do while you're here?
Yeah, Marcus, are you okay? Cleo's gonna go back over to the group and kind of just see that Marcus is still like maybe just a little bit fucked up, and just kind of be like,
I was fully bitten by a griffin. I'll take some.
She's gonna sort of like just start like to just go right in and then kind of pull back and be like, may I?
Yeah, he like takes his like tunic and like kind of like stretches it a little bit, where I assume there's just again massive tooth marks in my ribs.
There's like one
Marcus.
pierce from the beak.
That's 8 for Marcus. Sorry.
And your friend there helped patch it up a little bit earlier.
Feeling all right, Marcus? Are you okay? There was a lot going on with you. It seemed like.
It appears that whatever entity I have in my corner decided to bleed out of my sketchbook and create a massive fight where I probably almost died and also did practically nothing, though it pains me to admit as such. So
Yeah.
we're dealing with the consequences of that.
I'm going to shoot a message to Marcus and say, maybe we should keep the fact that these things came from your sketchbook between the 5 of us.
I was not planning on telling anybody else about this. Not that there is anyone else to tell.
As you say that, Albacius and Quintus begin to sidle up.
Albacius?
Yeah, Albacius.
Albacius, okay.
Can I?
Okay, remind...
He's gonna...
Wait, I don't know.
He's doing
Marcus
what?
doesn't know, but...
He sidles up, like they're approaching you guys.
Sauntering in.
The only one who saw Albacius do magic is
Avalon.
Avalon. Cool, okay.
Avalon saw him disappear in a puff of smoke.
I'm going to message Aemil really quick and just say, Aemil, I have to speak to you as soon as possible.
Understood.
Privately.
As they approach, Quintus looks very like fired up. He's got his like kind of nose all turned up. And Albatius actually looks very calm and cool as he kind of approaches you all. Quintus goes, "I trust this wasn't all of you're doing."
Of course not. We're the ones who stopped it.
I show my wound and say nothing.
Listen,
I is sitting there completely untouched, just
Avalon too.
Clio.
well, you should ask your friend. Albatius, you were there with me fighting in the center. You got out fairly quickly right after it began, but the rest of us were in there. Did I say the right name? Albatius?
Albatius Damascus.
Albatius.
Yeah.
Yes, it was quite the nasty little brawl. I didn't get out unscathed myself. And he kind of moves his cloak down, and you see like a slice of like bleeding down.
Showing off his collarbone like a jerk.
I'm
I'm not tricked. I look away.
lifts it back up. Quintus, if you would just give them a moment, they did save all of our lives.
Yes, Quintus.
This obviously is not a good press moment. The voting for how you will be used in the war against the Telnari is occurring in 3 days, as you know. This mess will not be allowed on the battlefield. Whatever this was, you had monsters coming left and right. We don't know what the Telnari have. And the 5 of you were completely unorganized.
Well, forgive us, but we did just find out about this yesterday.
Clio fucking walks away. She like, she's gonna walk away and try and find if there's anybody else who's injured who she can be paying attention to instead of she fucking walks away.
Octavius doesn't look injured, but he looks very like shaken. Albert was right there, right in front of me.
Oh, shut up.
He kind of side eyes you as you walk. I say this not to disparage you, but to warn you of what things will be like once you are involved.
What will they be like?
Have any of you ever been on a battlefield, Mr. Maximus aside?
With all due respect, does it look like any of us have?
No, not at all. I have seen a number of wars in my time, and most recently, for the past, how many years has it been at this point? Nearly 25.
Well, then, it seems you're perfectly suited to the battlefield. Maybe you should go instead.
I've had my practice. I have been there. I've brought home captives that have filled our city's coffers. What have you done for the city, Mr. Prosperous?
Well, I actually have a number of public works around the city, so quite a lot of beautification and also culture around the city, thank you.
Odd, I don't seem to remember your name.
That seems like you should have better memory than he fizzles out.
You just say.
Sorry, I have to sort of put myself in here. So my question is, you keep making this big point of using us as your weapon of war, and now you're berating us for not being soldiers. I'm the only one who's ever been in an actual fight. The rest of it, we have a poet, we have a sculptor, we have a librarian, and we have your coworker. I'm not a trained soldier, but I'm going to be the best you get combat-wise out of the 5 of us. And I just also sort of thinking back to the stories my father used to tell me about the wars that were won in dedication to our city, our nation. They were led by great leaders. I'm just wondering why you are now sending poets and sculptors.
I saw what the 5 of you did in the Coliseum, and I heard what you did to the Minotaur, and now I've seen what you did here. It's more powerful than anything that any legion of my soldiers could do on their own. You will be the things that end this war. I just want to make sure that you're all prepared. Because if you act like this out there, it's not going to end well.
Again, Senator, I was under the impression that our purpose was still up for debate, and if I could plant the idea in your mind that this is now the second large-scale attack in Imperium, and the third unexplainable happening, I feel like we could be better suited here.
Quintus chimes in. Your position is very much still up for debate. I'm not convinced that the 5 of you aren't what's causing these problems. I am not implying that you're doing them yourselves, but you've seen it with the enemies that have surrounded Imperius, all its history. Imperius has been a powerful nation, and power attracts power. Sending you to our enemies in Telnar, bringing down mountains, even if more of these happenings happen, at least it will be happening there.
But then there's who's to say that I of course understand where you're coming from, Senator, but who's to say that these things won't keep happening here in Imperium while we're off in Telnar?
Well, even if they do keep happening here, at least the war will be over. Then we can bring you back, as many of you will survive, and finish things here. I'm not trying to fight a war on 2 fronts. I'd rather you finish that one quickly.
Understood. I suppose we'll see you in 3 days.
I look forward to it. And he turns around and walks away. Followed quickly by Quintus on his heels.
I turn around. Like, what are the odds we could successfully fake our deaths?
I feel like
it depends on how much time you have.
Guys,
A lot of artists gain popularity quite a bit posthumously, so I'm not totally opposed to it, just putting it out there.
Well, I mean, we have to do something, not necessarily run around being weapons of war, but we can't be given these abilities and not use them, just disappear.
Well, Avalon could heat her tea. We could still use the powers, just...
There must be a reason why we were given them. And it's not to stand idly by. That's for certain.
I want to go check on Clio.
She's off like wrapping someone's rolled ankle or something.
Okay.
She's doing anything but being part of that conversation. Literally anything.
Clio, you are wrapping the ankle of that one person who Marcus talked to. Their name is
My rival? Oh no. Okay.
Yes.
It's the guy who
parkour
fucking
man.
jumped off the balcony.
Oh, it's Cicero. Was that him?
No, that's Master Sister. This is
okay.
Cicero took no damage. He was fine.
He just kept. Rumor has it he's
the
still
only
running.
person at the party who's not here. People are like asking around.
You fled bravely.
Cassius Matho is his name. That's a Star Wars ass name.
It is. Cool. I'm doing that.
I'll come up to Clio and put a hand on her shoulder and message her. We're gonna figure something out. Something that's good.
I say to Cash, are you okay? Are you feeling all right?
It was terribly frightening. I was scrambling to get out the door, but I seem to be fairly well.
I'm gonna go attend to some business. Are you gonna be all right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I'm gonna just sort of go with Aemil and feel like I don't know how much of them I can take, quite frankly. I'm not going to war. I'm not going. I sound like a child. I'm not going. I'm not going. And I'm sorry if that's gonna be a problem for everyone else. And the last thing I want to do is put everyone in danger, but I can't. I
don't blame you. Frankly, the only thing that I even remotely liked, this is all in message, by the way. This is not out loud.
Okay. I don't have message. Am I good?
You can message back to me.
I don't know the rules.
Yeah.
You're just pointing back and forth at each other.
Just doing finger guns. The only thing that I remotely liked about what Albatius said was ending the war, and I don't particularly believe that we see that in the same context.
Wars are not won, Aemil. I think when they mean end the war, they think that there's some way that they can win it.
Neither of us want to go over to Telnar and rain slaughter down upon the people there. I don't keep up with politics very much. I haven't until now. I guess that might have to change. But I feel like we've been fighting this war for so long, and I don't entirely know why. And if there's some way that we can stop the fighting even for now and keep the bloodshed to a minimum, maybe we can do some good with this.
Maybe. But I think that's for us to decide, not them.
I think we got to go to this meeting.
Yeah. So you guys have about 24 hours, like 20 hours, but until this meeting of downtime for you guys to spend however you'd like to.
As we're leaving, can I pull Aemil aside?
Of course.
I'm gonna be messaging you.
I love to talk secretly. This is the best spell.
Aemil, we, as I'm sure you know, are not. I'm going to do something that perhaps might be a little risky, and I want you to be aware of what might happen.
Okay.
While we were back there, I saw Albatius use some sort of magic to avoid being attacked. I don't know if you see him, nor do I want him to know that I saw him. But I'm going to see what he knows and what he doesn't know. And I think that might dictate our actions towards him in the future. I'm telling you because I think, while the rest of our associates are wonderful, I do think they would be quite hasty in their movements with this kind of information. So I'm trusting you with this. I will tell them, but also if you feel as though the time will come where, if you think they need to know sooner than I have told them, I trust your judgment.
Okay, wow. So we're not the only ones.
No. Seems we're not.
Okay.
All right. Who wants to go first with their
While that was happening.
downtime? We're going to be jumping around a little bit, so it doesn't really matter. But anyone feel strongly?
I feel like I have the least to do. I didn't really get back to you when you actually asked me. But I don't think Gaius is going to do anything special. Just spend the time at home,
Okay.
hang out with Felix if they're not working.
Yeah. I think Felix maybe takes a day off.
Good for them. They deserve it.
What do you guys do? You have your house on the kind of outside of the city. How do you spend your day together?
I think we get up early and go grocery shopping.
Mm.
Good.
I think it might be nice to cook a meal for my parents.
You're gonna cook a meal?
Cook me?
Nice.
No. I will cook
Yeah.
a bunch of ingredients
Okay.
into a dish to serve to the people who birthed Gaius.
Oh shit! I need to pull up some notes. You grab your groceries and make your way over to the lovely household of the Senuses. The door kind of swings open slowly. Oh, Gaius, how are you? Come out, Felix too. Come on inside.
Hi, Dad.
It's been so long. It's been so long. How are things at the Coliseum? I heard about all the trouble there.
Yeah, things are interesting right now. I think it's sort of I don't know that word. I think it's sort of up in the air at the moment.
Okay. Well, your mother has something cooking in the kitchen. If you want to just wait, or I don't know.
Oh,
Do you need something to drink? We have water from the well.
ooh, I wouldn't mind some water. Felix, what are you feeling?
Well, I mean, we brought all of these groceries.
Yeah, Dad, we were gonna cook for you, but if Mom's already cooking, I can.
And then you hear from like a back room behind one of the walls. Is that Gaius?
Hi, Mom.
Gaius! She like runs in the room, kind of shuffling her feet. Guys, it's been so long. You've gotten so big.
I haven't grown that much, have I? It hasn't been that long.
A little bit, just a little bit.
I say that every time.
And Felix, darling, looking so good. Kind of like moves up towards Felix. What's all this? What do you bring? You bring a feast over to our house.
I figured I would. Well, we would cook for you guys. It's been so long. I figured we were overdue for some family time.
Oh, wonderful. I just started the eggs. Come inside. Help me out. Give me a hand. I could use it. You see Felix sits down with your dad at the table. How's everything been, guys? Any big changes?
Yes.
Like what?
Have you have you heard about anything in the past 2 days?
There was a trouble at the Coliseum, yes, where there was those 5 magic users. Those brave people defending our country.
Mm-hmm.
Magic exists in the first place? That's pretty wild.
So that's sort of the thing. I made some new friends.
That's wonderful.
I made specifically 4 new friends. We met at the Coliseum, funny enough.
Mm-hmm.
We're the magic users.
The like spatula that she's using clatters to the floor. What?
Yeah. I don't know how it happened. I don't know what it is really. I'm still sort of figuring it out, but I can do this, and I'm going to just sort of feign grabbing the spatula, and the spatula is going to lift off the ground as I cast Mage Hand.
Gaius, that's impossible. You can't really. Gaius.
Yeah, it's new.
Gaius, at the Coliseum, so many people were.
Yeah.
Gaius, that could be you.
But it wasn't. It's okay, Mom. It's okay.
Are you?
I'm fine. Felix is fine. I've done as much as I can to make sure everyone else is fine, but it's...
Good. That's how he raised you.
That's how he raised me.
Your friends, what are they like?
They're an interesting bunch. Remember that the statue in the garden that I had done?
Yes, it was very good. Very good.
Yeah, that was the person who made that statue. His name is Marcus. He's
Prosperous.
One of them. Yes. He's very good. He's still doing sculptures, I hear.
Really? That's wonderful. Good for him.
One of them is I don't know I knew of. So you know Senator Valerius?
Mm-hmm.
Not the senator, but the senator's daughter.
Oh, okay.
I'm friends with her now. And then there's you remember the library in town?
No, I don't think I ever heard anything about any library.
I thought there was a library. Maybe not then. Anyway, there's 2 others. There's Clio and Aemil. Not a meal that we're preparing, but their name is Aemil. They like...
You hear a hearty guffaw from your father.
In the other room.
Thank you, Dad. Air 5.
Oh my god.
Do you actually air 5 him? You should send actual air.
Oh, I cast Mage Hand and high 5 my dad.
This would be 5.
Guys, what was that?
High 5!
Oh, I can do magic.
What?
Long story. We can talk about here. Mom, let's finish cooking the meal, then I could talk about this at dinner.
Mm-hmm. You guys finish preparing the meal. Everyone's sitting around the table. So this is dinner that you're having? I assumed it was like a brunch, but like,
yeah, it could be brunch. Probably brunch. I just Roman brunch.
Where's it going?
Your mom's kind of beginning to dig in. Guys, I've been meaning to ask you, how's Antilles? What's he up to these days?
Mid-bite, just... He's, seems to be doing okay.
When's the last time the 2 of you talked? It's
last night.
Really? I remember you 2 parted on bad terms, if memory serves.
Yeah. I saw him last night. We were at a gala. Gallows? No, gala.
Gala. Felix steps in a little bit. Gala.
Thank you. Gala with many of the rich people, and Tilly's was there. I don't know why he was there, but he was there.
I never liked that Antilles guy. Serves him right, doing what he did. Kind of digs deeper into the steak and eggs.
Yeah.
Oh, they let him perform in the Coliseum. I'll never understand. I'll never understand.
Yeah. It's nothing we could do about it. All I can do is make sure he doesn't beat me.
He's not going to be any son of mine. not today, not any day. Especially
Let's
not
hope.
Magic powers. I'm sure that's got a little bee in his bonnet.
I'm sure that actually could be very useful. Anyway, how have you guys been?
Oh, well, we've been fine. Things have been generally very good around the house. And I think you guys just have a very nice dinner together.
Yeah.
Brunch, actually.
Brunch, yeah.
Brunch. As Gaius kind of whittles away the hours with his family until tonight's meeting. That is, unless he gets caught up in anyone else's stuff. But we'll see. Avalon, it's the next morning. The whole day is ahead of you. What do you do first?
I will go down for brunch with my parents.
Mm-hmm. The tone is immediately different than what we just saw. Your father again has the daily. It's not like a full like newspaper as we would think of it, but he just kind of gets reports from people who work for him for the Senux, and he's kind of rifling through them. Your mother's just sat down. Oh, Avalon, dear, so happy to hear that you got out of that thing last night.
Oh, yes, I noticed you guys were both gone by the time we had exited.
Well, we had to get somewhere safe.
Yes, of course.
I thought they were gonna be like, oh, we had to get gelato.
You know how rich people be eating gelato.
You know it was Tuesday. It's our weekly gelato night. We weren't just gonna stay.
Mother, I had a question.
Yes.
Yes.
And Avalon, you know that.
I was speaking to a couple of senators at the gala last night before, of course, everything happened. Mm-hmm. And they were speaking of Albatius and being specifically Quintus about the crowning that was happening at the Coliseum.
Yes, I heard.
Yes, did you know anything about that?
Bits and pieces I heard from other members of the Senux. It was obviously you can't just crown a man and make him king.
Of course.
But it was a ceremonial gesture to gauge how much the populace, how the populace would respond to something like that.
If they would be in favor to having a king?
Yes.
Interesting.
We've talked about this before, Avalon. The Senux has grown quite bloated in the past few years. What with the additions of all of the places that Imperius has brought under its wing.
Yes, of course.
And so there are a few ideas going around among us philosophers that
naturally.
A simpler way to rule would simply be have one person that was well trusted and well liked by the populace in charge.
Yes. Well, that seems a natural conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
So you are for a potential easier way of ruling.
Yes. I mean, We should be doing what's best for Imperia, shouldn't we?
Yes, of course.
The Senux has been a great tool for the Imperium for many years. But some things outlive their purpose.
Yes, I'm sure that is true.
Is there anything else, dear?
No, I was
You have
just...
many things on your mind these past few days, and I don't appreciate that we haven't been in. I like to know what my daughter is doing and thinking, and I wish we just talked more.
Yes. I do as well.
Is that where the conversation ends?
Yes.
Great. Anything else, Avalon?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
If something falls upon me, then perhaps I will do something. But
Okay.
as
My
of now,
mom's
no.
better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, nobody's gonna argue that.
Clayton.
Marcus, what are you up to? Where does Marcus go after the whole gala?
My house. Yeah, Marcus goes straight back to. Okay, well, I know we have a lot of downtime for tomorrow, so practically he should be doing this the next day. But thematically, I think Marcus goes to his workshop afterwards, like says goodbye to everybody, and just like not power walks because it's not cool, but like walks with purpose to his workshop. I think he's going to like walk in and like take. Is my sketchbook still wet?
Yes, it is.
God, ew. I think he's gonna take the sketchbook and like, like a cool thing where he like opens it with one hand and then like slams it on the like desk.
Cool.
And then kind of like shakes his hand off. He goes, "Okay, we need to communicate." And I wait to see if anything gets written on the pages.
There's a pause, and then in the same kind of scratchy handwriting that you've been seeing, you see, "I've been trying to communicate this whole time."
First of all, is it my handwriting or is it a different handwriting?
It's your handwriting.
Well, that I noticed this 3 days after. I'm like, that's why it's so rude. Oh my god. What were those things that you showed me?
You seem angry with me.
No. Not angry with you. Very confused. Lots of things have suddenly fallen on my plate, and I have been waiting for things to fall on my plate for years, but these weren't quite the things that I had in mind, and also you ruined a lot of my drawings.
As far as I remember, they're not your drawings.
What are they?
Sketches.
With the ears and the horns.
Sketches of forms that I might take. The things I made last night were more advanced versions. They were, I don't know.
Yes,
just a practice.
Those got me in a lot of trouble, and also bitten very badly. So maybe let's artists collaborate. I don't. But most of the time they do.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to make things, how about you run them by me first.
Marcus, I would love to collaborate with you.
That throws him. He stands there he's like silent for like a good 5 seconds. Okay. I know I've asked this before, but you say what form you're going to take. What are you? Or do you still need me to answer that?
I don't know. I've looked at everything that you have here on this plane.
Go on.
And it's all unsatisfactory.
Ouch.
Rude.
Oh, I don't completely disagree with you, but probably for different reasons.
So I decided to take a few things that already existed and try to make something different, not better, but more suitable to me. It didn't seem to work. I didn't like any of them that much.
Well, the owlbear was interesting.
Thank you.
What am I supposed to do about this? What's stopping you from I just leave you on my desk and you get on with whatever you're making?
You see HMMM ... written down. And the dots just kind of keep going until it thinks of the sentence.
Okay, you're wasting page. All right.
I don't have that much of an imagination. I kind of just get impulses and go with them. You have much more self-control. I would like it if you would make me a form.
You're not gonna, like, murder me immediately after getting one, right?
I don't think you understand the arrangement that we have.
Explain then.
Your powers, the ones that I granted to you, as much as I could grant them to you, are yours. You are not beholden to me in any way. You could drop this notebook on the ground if you'd like and never come back to it.
When do you think those people in your notebook, our notebook, are going to pop up? Or do we make them?
The humanoids are much more complicated. There's not as many spare parts lying around. It would be much easier if you were to make their forms and I could animate them.
That's... It's not... I would honestly love to make things and make great things. God knows that's what I've been trying to do. But I hate to say it, we're at war with anybody who's different from us. And as much as I'd like to not be involved, I am now very directly involved with that. And as much as it pains me and probably others to say this next bit, my conscience feels slightly heavy at the idea of bringing in people who are going to immediately get stomped on, because our world does that to all of us who are already in it, and none of us have horns.
We'll make them different then. Even more different.
Them as in the creations, or them as in...
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The creations. The notebook flips over, flips over to a page of a humanoid in like near perfect proportions, with these like eagle's wings spreading from the back. These ones could fly. It's hard to stomp on things that can fly. And then it like flips over a couple more. To like one of those very like stout, small little people. These ones could move quickly and quietly, and maybe a little bit more to another one of the smaller, but these ones like broader, like tougher kind of people, person. And these ones could be resistant and hardy. If you're afraid for them, we can give them things to protect them.
Why don't we do some mock-ups first? No animating. Just starting something.
Okay, if that's what you think is best. Which one?
Get rid of that horns page. Get rid of the tiefling.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Love a tiefling.
You know I'm gonna make the tiefling. I think Marcus looks and kind of flips through and gets to, I think, like the one of the people, like the horns and like very elaborate like horns and tails, and I think there's a sleek, ornate, complicated design there that he wants to work
on. Yeah, totally. I'm particularly proud of this one.
Oh. All right. I'll start this. I don't know that I don't know that we're going to get to do this for much longer.
What do you
I
mean?
proposed faking my death, but that didn't seem to go over well. Granted, I still could do it, and they could just go to war, which I probably would, but Albatius would probably murder me, for real. So, I will do this. We have to be prepared for the fact that it's not going to work out as much as... No. We'll do it.
We'll do it.
Yeah. Who's gonna stop us?
I like the way you think, Marcus Prosperous.
I think he just goes and like sits at a block of marble and like probably stares at it for a while, not even just like but just slowly takes it up like masonry tools and sculptor's tools and kind of works through the night. So I think a lot of the actual day is like I spend 8 hours actually like sleeping during the day.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. I think we get a really good shot of like the chisel coming up right up to the edge and that first like poof, that knocks away some of it. Yeah, we can move on to Aemil.
I already had a meal.
Hey, but that was so cool. Aemil is going to like, you know, like the movie trope of like the frenzied writer who has like pages strewn. They're gonna go home and they're gonna just write so much stuff. And some of it is good, and some of it's bad, and some of it's very good. And is gonna pass out at their desk again, and then wake up, and then realize, oh shit, what day is it? And realize that they have a date with Cecilia.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
No, they have a date with Cecilia.
Fantastic.
So usually that's like somewhere secluded, like library stuff. There's intellectual stuff happening. Aemil brings stack of
physiology.
What stack does Aemil bring?
Stack of papers that they wrote. And some of them, a large bit of them are inspired by this dragon that they just saw. Some of them are love poems to Cecilia. Some of them are like the outlines to like greater works, like Homer-sized poems. Some of them are just short, and a lot of their dates are kind of because Cecilia is a writer as well, so they kind of show each other their writing, and the love poems are just love poems, but the rest is like, you know, like, what do you think? Give me some feedback, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of where exactly you meet, because I like the image of a park, but you want it to be someplace more like.
It can be like behind some rocks. I don't know. It's been so long since I've been outside.
I think that it's like somewhere just outside of the city walls. And I think that there's maybe a large mural on that wall of what would it be of the, I believe, 4 people who those original members of the Senux. I think it's like a kind of like almost like a crest of like each of these symbols on a shield emblazoned on the side of this wall. And it's kind of like a rocky outcropping that leads into some like, you know, light green grass. And I think way, way in the distance, you can see the mountains of Tailnar, like just barely like foggy and gray out there. Yeah. You get there first, but Cecilia is not long after. Aemil.
Cecilia.
Hi.
It's so good to see you.
Go on.
How are you?
I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. How are you? You were at the gala last night.
I'm alive, and I'm writing, and things are changing, and I might be sent off to war, but
to war?
The 5 of us magic users, one of the senators called us sorcerers, they're trying to decide what to do with us, and it seems likely they're going to send us to Telnar, and I don't want to go. I don't want to leave you.
I won't let them. I don't know what I won't, but no. Aemil, ever since you told me about Bruno, I've been seeing an entirely different side of him, a side that I'm not entirely comfortable being around. Make a insight check.
Okay. Ooh. Insight. What's my insight? 16.
16. You see that she's about to say something, and then she loses her nerve a little bit.
I'll take her hand and say, "You can tell me anything. You know that."
I know. It's just, I wish that I wasn't all wrapped up in him. I just wish that you weren't going to leave.
I can't promise that I won't leave, but I swear I'll try everything that I can to stay, and if I have to leave, I swear I'll come back.
Okay. What did you write?
I'll kind of excitedly and a little bit manically. They did not get very good sleep. They're a little bit like, glassy-eyed. Be like, I have some new drafts of stuff I showed you last time we met, and I have read these after. It gives a stack of like love poems, and then like pushes a bunch of papers and is like, and here's what these are, and blah blah blah.
Aemil, this is so much. This is more than you've ever written before.
I've had a lot of inspiration lately.
I think she starts reading the first one about the dragon. Aemil, this is great, but that's terrifying.
Yeah.
The writing is so present, but I can't imagine feeling so small in front of such a great, like, uncontrollable beast. Like I don't know. We've kind of tamed so much that it's strange to think about not being in control anymore.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Because I had trouble putting that into words, and I don't think maybe we were never in control. Maybe we were, and we're not going to be anymore. I really don't understand the world the way that I thought I did, Celia.
Mm-hmm. I think that makes a lot of sense just with everything that's happened in the past 2 days. There are forces of nature now that we never even believed were possible.
Yeah.
I think she like grabs your cheek like with her fingers kind of like behind in your hair a little bit. And her thumb kind of caresses like the bottom of your dark circles under your eyes. You should get some more sleep, for one thing.
I know, you always say.
But I think the second thing is, how does it feel to be? No. Are you in control of these new powers, abilities?
I mean, they haven't done anything that I didn't want them to do yet, but I don't entirely know what else is possible.
Okay. There's a lot of unknowns in our lives right now.
Yeah.
I think one thing that I do know is that I care about you so much. And I just, and I think she pulls you in for a kiss.
When we break apart, I say, I am madly in love with you. There aren't words to describe.
Thank you, Aemil. I'm in love with you too.
And then, I don't know, we finish our date.
Mm-hmm.
We have a picnic. Shut up.
It just scared me for a second.
I think the camera pans away from the two of you, like up along the wall. And you just see this like sprawling landscape in front of you. Clio, that's you.
So Clio wants to go check in on her buddy. And then I still want to have that chat with Miss Valerius. So whatever order you want to do, those are Cleo's two things.
Cool.
Yeah.
I
don't know if we were meeting up again. That I'm very fixated on this talk with Avalon because Sarah, have been planning in my brain exactly what I'm gonna say. It's not that big a deal. I'm just very fixated on it because I know exactly what I want to say. And I'm scared of
you guys. As far as I know, we're gonna meet where it's gonna be at the meeting. Like you're all gonna show up. Honestly, we didn't even go over that with like Marcus and Gaius.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, we're gonna have to go pick them up because we did not tell them about this at all. And I don't think Clio knows that Avalon and Aemil were invited separately. I think in Clio's noggin, she is the only one who's been
Come
invited.
visit each and every one of us.
But I mean, I'll tell you this about Clio. Like this is not a sleeping kind of night. Clio is gonna like wander and be a little Victorian ghost around the city or something for like she's Clio has so much going on in her brain right now and everything is going just completely backwards and sideways for her. So she could and she probably would. I just don't know if she's going to.
Okay. So you want to go visit Aster?
Yes, please.
Are you doing it that night or are you doing it the next day?
Probably that night, because even if he's not awake, Clio feels like she can wake him up and he'll be fine. So.
Okay.
I don't like the energy of that at all. That was so scary.
So you start walking through the streets of Imperius. It's mostly quiet as you move away from like the scene. And you are like a little Victorian ghost kind of drifting your way through the city. Aster's place is not too far from yours, which is also not too far from the library. You find it easily enough. You knock on the door. I assume you come up to the door. What do you do?
I knock on the door. You're good. They probably have like a knock that they do so that they know it's one of their squad.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Very interesting. That's good to know. The door opens. I would like you to make a wisdom saving throw.
What? Why?
Hello?
Hey, why?
You're wise, right?
Apparently, I rolled an 18.
Yes.
Plus 3 is 21. Trying to mess with me with my 21. Yeah, how does that feel? I'm sorry. I rolled so bad last session. I deserve this. Sorry. I'm sorry.
You open the door, and you don't see Aster. Instead, you see Casrius.
Fuck.
Oh. Shit.
The urge to just close the door. Clio completely freezes.
Leo, I wasn't expecting to see you again so soon. Come Come in. Are you looking for Aster?
I was.
So this is me. He's been hard to find recently. It's strange. Come on in.
Is that going around? It seems. Sorry.
No, I understand. I didn't think that. Yes, I understand. He turns away from you. Make a perception check.
Okay. Oh, my dice falling off. That's a 16. So I'm very perceptive. I just am not good at math. 16, 19, 21 again.
21 again. Okay. He turns away from you, and you see, like, as his head turns, like a purple after image follows his eyes. Some like anime bullshit, you know? As he walks inside.
Okay. Can I get a read on, this is gonna sound weird, but like, can I get a read on if he's real? Because I've been seeing ghosts, that's been happening. This is something different, I'm sure, but can I try and like Arcana maybe, or something to try and get a read on what this is?
I don't think you can make a skill check. I think you could interact with him.
All right. Well, that's not the answer.
It's a DM thing to say. Oh, do you want to interact?
Okay. I think Clio is completely thrown off by this.
He starts like rifling through a couple of Aster's books and opens them and does a quick flip through.
She's gonna follow inside and shut the door behind her. So you don't know where he is? What is going on? Where have you been?
I have been busy. He kind of quickly shoves the book back into place. I've been around the city. I've just been, I don't know, practicing. How are you, Clio? What's new? How are your powers developing, Clio?
What the fuck?
Tell me what's going on. How do you know? What are you? Listen, I don't know what's going on here, but
No, it's okay. It's hard to go through this conversation every time.
What?
Nasty boy.
What does he know?
Clio, you have magic powers that were granted to you, gifted to you, somehow bestowed upon you by some powerful force. I also have magic powers that were granted to me, gifted to me, bestowed upon me by a different force. From what you've told me, they're slightly alternating, but they're not. I don't know. Mine's a little bit different. Doesn't have as much of a personality.
Like you. Sorry. You're doing great, Will.
I love that Riley is doing this because I have time to have a complete spiral into madness.
I know how to vamp.
I am watching my own descent into madness, like the third act of Hamlet on this Zoom window right now.
No.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I can vamp. Speaking of vamp, I thought he was gonna have 2 holes in his neck for just a moment there. And I was like really thrown. I was like, we can't introduce vampires here. Anyways, continue.
Clio like looks around to like see like if there is something like some sign of like, am I being punked right now? Like what's going on?
Ashton Kutcher comes out of the Coliseum.
Ezra's pulls up.
Fucking units. And I think she like a little bit starts laughing because that's just kind of like what Clio has done a couple times now, and she's no fucking clue what's going on. And she kind of says like, do you know what? Oh my God. So you just know everything. I've been so panicked about telling you all of this and how you would react, and you already know, so it's fine. So I've been panicking for, God, only like 2 days actually, but like a long time over nothing. So you already know.
I mean, yes.
Because I didn't tell.
You did, a couple times actually.
What? Am I being gaslit right now? What is going on?
I went to find you right after the Coliseum, and I don't want to talk about this right now. Clio, are you ready to leave with me?
Leave where?
Anywhere. Clio, and he like takes a second and he grabs your hand, just like kind of grabs it, and takes a second, and both of you start like levitating off the floor. He casts fly.
He knows fly?
It's a 3rd level spell. 4th level.
And he says, Clio, look at us. We're not going to fit in here anymore.
I think it's not right.
What?
This doesn't feel real. What? I don't understand. You just want to leave?
I guess so. I've been practicing my powers in the past 2 days. It's been a little bit easier because mine are a little less noticeable. And I've become quite proficient in them. And it's becoming increasingly obvious that we don't belong here anymore.
I saw Maddie.
That's new.
I went back to the apartment and she was there. She wasn't alive, but she was there. And I don't know if she's still here. I feel we talked about this before?
A couple of times, although you didn't bring up Maddie the past 2 times. Was she reaching out to you? What does she want?
I don't know. She was speaking to me, but I couldn't hear.
Your powers revolve around healing people, right? If that's what you told me. I'm being conversational, I remember.
When did I tell you?
The last 2 times as we explained this to each other.
I don't remember.
The last 2 times we've had this conversation, it did not end well. But I don't think that you're completely thinking things through because you haven't had the time to develop your powers in the same way that I have, just because of the nature of our different powers. And so I thought it would be best to kind of reset until you had more time to see the difference between you and everybody else.
There is no difference between me and everybody else.
He stops the levitation, and you guys both hit the ground again. Clearly there is.
Did we not have the childhood that I remember us having? What lessons were you in? People are people, Casrius. We've talked about this. We've told other people about this. We've taught this. We wrote the book on this.
I completely agree. People can be people by themselves.
Do you think we're not people? Am I not a person to you anymore?
I think we're more than people now.
I didn't choose this. Are you? So it's not ending well, it seems.
Not again, but listen, people are important. They're wonderful, expressive beings. We agree on that completely. But we are more than people now. We have control over forces that nobody else does. We can leave and we can make something great and different and better than before.
Why can't we make that here?
You've seen how these people work. When anything's different than them, they try to stab it and kill it and burn it to the ground.
They can do better. They can get better. We can make them better. Isn't that what we were trying to do? Why are we abandoning now? Why are we jumping ship now after everything we've been through?
Clio, I can see into people's minds now. I can read
fresh.
all of their thoughts. They are exactly the same as they were before. And yeah, maybe we could teach them to not hate us, but that would come with a lot of convincing, and I don't think we could do it all with words. And so maybe it would be better to separate those of us that can do these incredible things just somewhere else. We can make a society of it. We can leave these people to continue doing their things, and we can raise mountains. We could make flying cities in the sky. We could do whatever we want.
All I want is what I already have. I want to be here. I want to be with people. I don't want to raise mountains. I didn't ask to raise mountains. I didn't ask for any of this. I want to build things and I want to create, but I want to do it for people. These people, our people. I thought you would know that about me.
Clio, it's so different now.
It doesn't have to be. Or does it?
One of these days, I'm going to leave. That's decided. The city has so many people in it, and it's so much louder when you can hear everything. I want you to come with me. But if you're not willing to, then there's nothing I can do about that for an extended period of time, but that's besides the point.
Did you know about the fire? Did you know it was coming? Don't lie.
Not in so many words.
Because you asked me to switch places with Madigan. Did you know what was coming?
Clio, if you continue down this rabbit hole.
Did you know?
Yes.
Have fun wherever it is that you're going. I hope you find some peace and quiet.
Clio, you have to understand, it was you or it was Madigan, and
it should have been me.
How can you say that?
Because
Look what's happened to you now. It clearly should not have been you.
Don't you think it could have happened to anybody else? Do you think I'm special? Do you think I
Yes.
No, I'm not. I'm just like everybody else.
We can create fire with our minds. We have mastery over everything.
Because somebody else let us. This isn't me. This isn't me. This isn't who I am. I haven't always been this. This isn't because of something about me. I'm not different than anybody else. I'm not special. I have
Clio, this is who you are now. And you're going to have to face up to it eventually. And when you're ready to, I will be there for you. Come find me. But until then, I'm sorry, but I'm just going to have to wait for you. And you see his hand just slightly move. And he teleports out of there.
This boy can teleport?
That wisdom save that you made earlier was a preemptive one for right now, in which he tried to cast Modify Memory on you.
I knew it.
He cast Modify Memory?
Drop his ass.
That's it. It's over for Sorcerous.
Do I know that he tried to do something to my brain?
Yes.
Oh.
I don't know if that's how the spell works exactly, but this is more interesting, so yes.
Reading my notes, I
Oh
knew
my
this.
gosh. I am shaking so bad.
It was the eyes that gave it away, Will.
Hey, didn't you still want to talk to Avalon?
Yeah, what do you want to do now, Clio?
I
Go
still
talk
want
to
to.
your
Now I'm
best
fucking
friend.
scared for Aster because I think Sorcerous has gone off the deep end. I still want to try and find him. I'm gonna check his apartment. I'm gonna go back to our apartment and check that. I don't know. I think Madigan lived with her family. I'm not doing that. But I am gonna go. Not tonight. I am gonna go by the library, see if he's there. I'm just gonna look. Now I'm scared for him because Sorcerous has lost it. So.
I'm not gonna make you make a check. You don't find him.
That's bad news, but I guess we'll deal with that later. Because I didn't see him after the Coliseum either.
No.
Jesus Christ. That's bad. That's not great. Yeah, Cleo's probably gonna just spend some time walking around. She's gonna walk past the library, and sort of just be there for a little while. And then I think she'll probably go past the Coliseum where that like memorial is and try and sort of like see it, but just sort of skirt around it. And then she's gonna wait for it to be a reasonable hour. And if she doesn't run into Avalon, she's gonna go see if she can have a word with her.
Is there any reason that Clio would run into Avalon?
I don't think so, unless Avalon is going somewhere and I'm walking in the opposite direction.
Well, then you head up to the Valerius household.
All right.
A kind of grand plaza awaits you, and before these like two rich, heavy wooden doors with like these golden knockers on them.
Cool. Clio is like has gotten this far and is now like, oh shit.
Daytime? Like around like is this like
I'd say this is closer to like mid-afternoon.
Yeah, she's gonna wait till it's whatever like a socially acceptable hour is to like go to rich people's houses. Clio wouldn't know what that is.
A little bit pre-dinner sounds right.
Yeah. So she is gonna knock on she's gonna like straighten up and like try and like and then like knock on the door, I guess.
The door's opened by a servant that you don't recognize. No, we don't want anything. We're fine, thank you.
Is this the same one? Wait, is this the same one?
That's for the other household.
Oh,
That's the other
I
house.
love that one.
That was a good one.
I start to close the door.
Excuse me. I'm here to speak to Avalon Valerius.
Very well. I will send for her immediately. again, closes the door, does not let you in.
I don't want to go into your rich people house anyways.
Avalon, one of your servants, Benedict. Have I already had a Benedict before? Who cares? Two people can be named Benedict. Comes up. Ma'am, there is someone waiting outside for you. A young woman, very dressed in a very homely fashion.
Take her name.
What the fuck?
Oh, Benedict and your fashion taste.
Oh, Benedict.
You know we don't pay you to criticize our guests' fashion.
Bring her in.
Very well.
Inside?
Me?
Inside our home?
Back
This
down.
homely dress?
The door
So
opens
embarrassing.
again. Miss Avalon welcomes you into the Valerius household. He opens the door fully for you, revealing the nice marble flooring and tiled flooring, excuse me.
Clio has been among rich people in like her youth. I think she knows how to like compose herself, but she is like poor. And I think and she has not slept, and I think she's like trying her best to like seem very like composed. And she's kind of like, thank you, and like follows inside.
The two of you meet in one of the many sitting rooms in this household. Benedict kind of stands near like the archway, just attending.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Did you want any drink or
No.
All right.
I'm sorry to be intruding. I know this is probably not the most comfortable arrangement for either of us. I needed to talk to you, and I wasn't sure if I would get a chance before tonight.
All right. Is this more of a private matter? We can go somewhere more secluded.
If that's okay with you, that would be great.
Yes. Come with me. I think we'll go into the garden of my estate to a little more secluded area. There's probably like a little.
I'm thinking maybe that there's like some like finely trimmed hedges and like in kind of the center of this, and it creates like almost like a very like small short little maze, and at the very center there is like a sitting like a kind of curved bench.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so we'll go there.
Clio doesn't sit. She's like pacing, anxious. Avalon, I am going to a meeting tonight. I was invited by Dominicus Faust.
The senator. Clio. I suppose you weren't there actually. Aemil and I were also invited to a meeting. And we have since invited Marcus, Prosperous, and Gaius.
Okay, well, that's one matter attended to. I want us all to be there. I think it'll be good for us. I think especially Gaius and Aemil, and I don't know how much Marcus, but I think to know what's going on with the politics here, I think is good for them, and to put faces to names, and but I think it's gonna be a hard time for you. I don't know how much I can do the smile and be nice part anymore. I've had quite the day today, and also yesterday, and also the day before yesterday, and you know what, probably the day before that. So I so want to trust them, and I want to believe that they really see the problems with Albatius, and they're really going to enact change and fight for anything but that. And I don't know. I don't know how much your mother will be in a good light among that crowd if I'm right. My other fear is that we're walking into a trap and we're all in political trouble, and also regular trouble and sort of threat to life and limb style trouble.
Oh, yes, of course.
I want you to know that if you are not comfortable, we don't have to do this. I feel bad about sort of how we've gotten on so far. I know we have different backgrounds and different ideas about sort of the government. But I want the five of us to be a united front. I think that's the only way we get what we want, is if it's all of us or none of us. I want us to be together, you know?
Yes, I do think that is wise. And believe me, I've had a conversation with my mother, on a few, but I am well aware of the potential differences that may arise in this meeting, and I can assure you I have every intention of going.
Okay. If you aren't comfortable and you want to leave, let me know, because I don't want to put you in it. You have more at stake than I do. I am a archivist, was a archivist, a librarian. I'm not that anymore. I'm not really anything anymore. I'm just sort of this thing that people are talking about and this stuff that I can do.
Well, no. You're still a person. You're not a thing. That's something that Albatius said last night.
Right.
We are things to end. We are not things. We are still people. You are still a person.
Right. Thank you. I recognize that your whole future is at stake with these people and with their plans and their politics and their little war games. And I want you to know that I respect that position, and I don't want you to lose it all at my expense, at least not for something like this.
I appreciate that, Clio.
See, this was a lot. I was a lot more worried about this because I thought you didn't know what this was. So knowing that you also are sort of in the loop on this is actually a big relief. Just, I have your back, Avalon, and I think that you have mine. And if you need anything from me, if I can do anything to make this easier, I don't know if I can. I don't know if there's any way to make this any easier on any of us. You know, Gaius seems like he's holding up all right, but how hard is it to have, you know, lightning springing from your hands, and let alone everyone else? And I just, if there's anything I can do to make this any easier, please let me know.
Thank you for that, Clio. Do you know what that creature told me when it landed? Well, it was quite disturbing and it's haunted my dreams, quite honestly. But it told me to stop being a coward. And I've been thinking about that since that's happened. And perhaps it's time for a change.
Then I'll see you tonight.
Yes. Would you like to sit down?
I think I'm gonna go Yes, I would. It's gonna take a seat and just sort of like, oh, like this is like the first time she's like sat down in like 6 hours, just be like, oh. It's a very nice garden. It's a nice.
Feels good to you guys, and we might fast forward.
Yeah.
I want more awkward small talk.
Let me ask you about Octavius or something. That'll really.
I think the 5 of you kind of meet up, maybe just a little bit away from Icarus Plaza. Yeah, that was it. Icarus Plaza. It's just so we can get all of you kind of approaching together. Icarus Plaza is it's like on the outskirts of that more affluent part of Imperius. It is near the wall, but it's in an area that's kind of like a little bit uphill, so you can still see above the wall. As you move through, it's kind of a little bit hard to get there. You have to go through a lot of different alleyways and not like the main big streets. But it's pretty easy to navigate under the full moon. And as you guys get to Icarus Plaza, there is this amphitheater, like very small, it's like an outdoorsy, all made of stone. And you can see up over the wall across all the fields that lay outside of Imperius that are now part of the Imperium. And like I just told Aemil, like breaking up the skyline in the far, far distance is the distant ridges of the Telmar Mountains. And
as we look at this real quick, I lean over to whoever's closest, or I just kind of say to the group, I'm like, are we having a secret meeting outside? Like an outdoors in public secret meeting?
Well, sometimes the best place is right under people's noses.
Cool.
I am nervous. We're on the same page.
You guys find the amphitheater, which it is outside, but it is at the very edge of the city, and in a fairly far, far off the beaten pathway. And on its different levels are about a dozen senators. You can tell by the kind. It's Avalon would know this, so I'm not going to make anyone roll. Senators have a specific ceremonial way of putting on their toga that lets you know this is we are meeting. This is a meeting of the Senux, and they are wearing it right now. You guys recognize who is everyone that is here. Let me look at my NPCs. You guys see Lucia Proculus, the person who invited Aemil and Avalon. She's kind of garnering a lot of attention. It's quite a stark difference than at the gala last night. And you guys also see Dominicus Faust, who is kind of sitting at the outskirts and immediately sees you and perks up. And then finally, the other person that you guys all see, only one of you recognizes him, is Aster Mitchell. Cleo's what you're looking for.
Okay. God, I had literally just now fully convinced myself. I'm like, oh, he's dead, huh? Oh wow, that's so rough. I was like, I'm gonna see his ghost or something, huh? Wait. Is he?
And Dominicus kind of rushes over to you. Aster doesn't seem to notice you at this point, and says, "Welcome, friends. I'm glad all 5 of you came. This is potentially a very historic meeting. And now that everyone is met, I think it would be a good idea if we began. And that's where we'll call it for today."
Oh.